Good evening, everybody. Welcome inside the Salem Civic Center. The late show in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference men's basketball quarterfinals, the nightcap after a busy day of hoops as the number 3 seed Washington and Lee takes on the number 6 seed, the University of Lynchburg. Jeremy Franklin with you for our coverage tonight. Audio on WLUR Lexington 91.5 FM and WLUR All Access powered by First Team Broadcasting. Our video feed tonight on the ODAC Sports Network as the Generals and the Hornets compete for a spot opposite Virginia Wesleyan in the semifinals on Saturday night. Leap Day basketball here in Virginia's championship city. We've had a busy day again with 3 quarterfinals. There were 4 women's games yesterday, so one final spot in the semifinal round up for grabs on Saturday. Washington and Lee coming in off of one of the best regular seasons the Generals have had in decades. Lynchburg had plenty of highlights throughout the year, hit a slump toward the end of the season. They'll try to break out of that as the lower seed tonight. It was 84-80 WNL in Lynchburg at the end of January in the lone regular season meeting. More on that game in a moment. We'll also hear from Washington and Lee head coach Chris McHugh, who guided his team to its first 20-win season since 1988-89. Quickly, let's run through what we've seen so far today in Salem. The number 1 seed, Randolph-Macon, which has been ranked in the top 5 for a good portion of the season, knocked off the number 8 seed Hampton-Sydney 80-61. So the Yellow Jackets moving on. They got 20 points off the bench from Josh Talbert, 18 points, 9 assists from the 2-time ODAC Player of the Year, Buzz Anthony. For Hampton City, Ryan Clements led the way with 19. The Yellow Jackets will take on Roanoke. The 5 seed beat the 4 as the Maroons knocked off Guilford 73-66. Tripp Green had 18, Casey Draper and Ifosa Edosiamon each with 14 for the Maroons. Jordan Davis a game-high 21 in defeat for Guilford. And then the game that just finished here, it was a battle between the number 2 seed Virginia Wesleyan and 7th seeded Ferrum. The Marlins pulled away just a little bit late and won 71-62. Daniel Spencer, the Emory and Henry transfer, had 19 points for the Marlins. James Smith Jr. led the Panthers with 23. Virginia Wesleyan also dominated the boards, out-rebounding Ferrum 56-33. Tonight's broadcast of the ODAC basketball tournament here on WLUR and WLUR All Access is brought to you in part by the Washington and Lee University Store. Owned and operated by WNL, the University Store is located right on campus in Elrod Commons. The store features a wide range of apparel celebrating WNL, including the Peter Millar Collegiate Collection, offering polos and sweaters for your game day style. If you're looking for workout gear, we have a variety of performance apparel from Nike and Under Armour. All proceeds go back to the Washington and Lee community, helping to fund athletic alumni and student programs. The store is open 7 days a week. You can order online anytime at store.wlu.edu. We'll hear from the Generals head coach in just a moment. First, an injury update. If you followed these two teams closely throughout the year, you have questions about 2 starters, one for either team, and there is good news for both. T.C. Thacker will be in the starting lineup tonight for Lynchburg. The first team All-ODAC selection, missed the last 2 regular season games. Mark Lamondola, the starting point guard for the Generals, who did not play in last Saturday's win at Ferrum, is back, and he will also start for WNL. So it looks like pretty much full strength for both Chris McHugh of the Generals and Hillary Scott of Lynchburg. Speaking of Coach McHugh, 20 victories for his team this season. I caught up with him earlier this week. Joining me now is Washington and Lee head coach Chris McHugh. Coach, let's talk about some of the program history your team made during the regular season. First 20-win season in 30 years. It's actually been more than 4 decades since a WNL team won 20 games during the regular season. Most ODAC wins ever for WNL men's basketball. How do you put all those things into perspective as you approach the ODAC tournament now?
It's really hard to, because I'm just really proud of this group, and there's been some really special men that have come through this program in the recent history and further back into our history. So when your team for this year gets brought up with some of the great teams of the past and some of the great accomplishments of the past, it's pretty surreal, and it speaks to it speaks really to the collective toughness of this group. It speaks to those folks and those graduates from recent years who came before us and set a standard and raised the level of the program. So it's been a total team effort for this group. And like I said, I think we expected to be really good this year from start to finish. And having graduated Roy and Devin and Alex from the class of 2019, I think outsider perspectives probably thought, well, they're probably going to take a step back, or they might struggle, or they're very young. And really from start to finish this year, the belief in our locker room has been that we can be a special team that accomplishes special things. And we've done that to this point. We've had a great regular season, and I'm extremely proud of those accomplishments. The 20 wins in a regular season is a hallowed mark in college basketball when you only get 25 chances to do it. To do it with the type of schedule that we play in our conference and the national reputation of the ODAC, and to get 12 wins in the ODAC, having started 1-2 and losing on our home floor to Randolph by 20 and having to sit on that for a month and a half before we played another game, to see where we are now, you see the staying power and the toughness of this group, that we weren't going to be denied, and we just kept getting better and better and better. And we want to continue that, and I think we have this week on into postseason play.
Obviously, some of your younger guys have made a lot of strides as the year has gone along, but how much have the upperclassmen meant, their leadership, the way they've guided this team in what easily could have been that rebuilding type year?
Well, starting with our seniors, you couldn't ask for two better teammates, better leaders, examples of what it takes to build a good program is guys like Mark Krogan and Kevin Denon. Those are, in both Mark and Kevin's cases, they have gotten better each of their 4 years. Just, you can see it when you watch them play. You can see the statistics. You can see their role has increased each of their 4 years because they've worked hard in practice, and in the off season they've dedicated their bodies and to working on their games and coming back an improved player each year. And they've stuck it out when it was hard. They started their careers 8-14, and now they're knocking on the door of 70 wins over 4 years, and that's a special testament to those two guys. They have been absolute rocks, both Mark and Kevin, as captains for our team, as guys who come in and set a standard every single day in practice. Those guys never have off days. They're always locked in mentally and physically. They're always bought into what we're doing. They've been the consummate two captains and leaders, and like I said, you can see how much it means to them every day, and it's just the rest of our group has no choice but to fall in line and raise our level to their level of spirit and enthusiasm and competitiveness every day. So those two seniors have been just stars in their role, doing what they do well, and they do a great job of it, and they're great guys to go to work with. And then in our junior class, William Brueggemann and Curtis Mitchell are two of the more talented players that we've had in the recent history, or pretty much ever in our program. And those guys have really excelled and risen to the challenge this year of being the type of guys that I think both should be in any conversation when you talk about who's the best player in the league. I think both Brueggemann and Mitchell belong in that conversation. William doesn't get the credit he deserves for how good a defender and rebounder he is. Everybody sees how he can score from anywhere on the floor, but he has really rounded himself into a great all-around player this year. And then Curtis, you see him being the defensive anchor and a player that affects the game so largely on that end, but doesn't get credit for the fact that he's near the top of the league in assists. He's scoring in double figures. He runs the floor better than just about anybody in the league at 6'8". So those two guys are just a dynamic duo in that class. And when you piece it together with those juniors and those seniors, those four guys have been excellent, and I expect the same from them this weekend.
You've got a tough matchup to start off the ODAC tournament, a Lynchburg team that you beat by 4 on the road in late January. What are the keys for the Generals as you get set for a rematch with the Hornets?
Yeah, I don't know how many leagues have 6 seeds that are as talented and explosive and good as Lynchburg. So we are not going to be underestimating them by any stretch of the imagination. We know they're a really good team. It was a hotly competitive game back in the regular season. We know that that they're a balanced unit. They can score from a lot of different positions. They're really good defensively. So it's going to be a great matchup. We're excited for it. They're a really, really good team, but I think we've proven that we're the same over the course of 25 games, and we're just looking forward to the challenge. I think that when we take care of the basketball, when we defend and rebound, we're a really tough team to beat for 40 minutes. We're going to be a really hard out if we can play our aggressive and attacking style on both ends of the floor while really valuing possessions, limiting teams on the offensive glass, limiting turnovers. With all the weapons that we have and our style of play, I think it suits really well to making a run this weekend.
That's Washington and Lee head coach Chris McHugh as we welcome you back live to Salem, just about 5 minutes away from the opening tip between third-seeded WNL and number 6 Lynchburg. Coach McHugh, what a job he's done at his alma mater. He reached the championship game here as a player back in 2009, 56-23. Through the end of the regular season this year, 20-5, the best mark for WNL since 1988-89. It's the first time that the Generals have won 20 games in the regular season since 1977. Hillary Scott rejuvenating this Lynchburg program. He won the ODAC title in 2016. He was the ODAC Player of the Year for Roanoke in 93-94, a two-time All-American for Paige Moyer. 12th year with the Hornets, 183 wins. Lynchburg has already clinched its 9th consecutive winning season. Just some perspective on what that means. The Hornets had one winning campaign in the 27 years prior to Hillary Scott's arrival at the University of Lynchburg, then Lynchburg College, when he took over. And that was way back in the mid-1980s, and now a force to be reckoned with every year. You heard Coach McHugh, the respect he has for this Lynchburg team, and what a game it was when these two squads met at the end of January. Washington and Lee, dynamite offensively in the first half, shot 60% from the field, led 53-42. The Hornets came charging back in the second half. They took a 5-point lead, but Washington and Lee would outscore Lynchburg 19-10 over the final 8 minutes and pull out an 84-80 victory. Mark Lamondola, who again is back tonight for the Generals, 19 points. William Brueggemann scored 16 of his 18 in the second half. Kevin Dennen had 17. And then how about this stat line for Curtis Mitchell? 9 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and 5 blocks on the Lynchburg side. Theron Suggs had a monster first half. He finished the game with 28 points. T.C. Thacker, who returns for the Hornets tonight, had 15. Cody Lang with 13 points and 8 rebounds. So Washington and Lee with the 20-win season. The Generals won 15 of their final 17 regular season games. The only time they have lost since early December, times plural, on the road to the two teams that finished above them in the ODAC standings. January 11th at Virginia Wesleyan, February 15th at Randolph-Macon. Lynchburg got off to a tremendous start, beat Virginia Wesleyan at home in early January. In fact, on the 22nd of that month, they were 7-1 in conference play after blowing out a pretty good Ferrum team. The Hornets would lose 6 of their final 8 regular season games, the only wins during that stretch against two teams that did not make the ODAC tournament, Randolph and Shenandoah. However, one of the losses was 85-82 in overtime on the road against Randolph-Macon. So even during that slump, you saw the potential of the Hornets. 4 all-conference selections will take the floor tonight, 2 for either side. William Brueggemann of WNL and T.C. Thacker of Lynchburg, first-team selections. Curtis Mitchell just won his second straight ODAC Defensive Player of the Year award. He was a second-team pick. And then Theron Suggs, the leading scorer for the Hornets, a third-team selection. You add in the great shooter Kevin Dennen, a talented first-year Richie Manigault, Mark Lamondola, Sam Wise alternating at the one position for Washington and Lee. Chance Green, 1,000-point scorer among the ODAC leaders in assist for Lynchburg. Reggie Davis and Cody Lang both average over 8 points per game. And some key weapons like the three-point specialist Luke Romeo and the post player Dal Dunton off the bench for the Hornets. And we could be in for a classic to wrap up a great day of basketball here at the Salem Civic Center. Randolph-Macon, Roanoke, and Virginia Wesleyan have already won today. Those 3 teams moving on to Saturday night semifinals. The Yellow Jackets will face the Maroons at 6 o'clock. And then the Marlins of Virginia Wesleyan, Dave Macito's team, will get the winner here at 8 p.m. That's after the women's semifinals. It'll be Emory and Henry and Randolph-Macon at 1 o'clock Saturday. Roanoke and Guilford at 3 p.m. tomorrow. You can watch every single game from Salem on the ODAC Sports Network. Starting lineups being introduced right in front of us, and we'll run through them for the two teams. For Hillary Scott's Lynchburg squad, this is the regular lineup most of the year. Had to tinker with it down the stretch due to injuries, but the return of T.C. Thacker allows the Hornets to go with their preferred starting 5. It's Chance Green, a 5'10 senior from Creedmoor, North Carolina. Theron Suggs, 6'1 junior from Raleigh. T.C. Thacker, the 6'6 junior from Madison Heights, Virginia. Also for Madison Heights, the 6'5 senior Cody Lang, and then 6'4 junior Reggie Davis from Greensboro, North Carolina, rounds out the starting five. If you're watching the video broadcast tonight, those are the all-conference selections that we just mentioned. William Brueggemann and Curtis Mitchell for the Generals, T.C. Thacker and Theron Suggs for Lynchburg, with Mitchell also winning the ODAC Defensive Player of the Year award. The Washington and Lee starting lineup, the Generals 20-5 overall, 12-4 in the conference. This is the regular set for Chris McHugh's team. Richie Manigault, a 6'3 first year from Stewartsville, New Jersey. William Brueggemann, a 6'3 junior from Houston. Mark Lamendola, a 6' sophomore from Pittsburgh. Kevin Denton, a 6'2 senior from Severna Park, Maryland. And Curtis Mitchell, a 6'8 senior from Chevy Chase, Maryland. Generals lead the all-time series 80-40. Washington and Lee has won 2 of the past 3, including that 4-point win on the road in late January. But prior to that, the Hornets had won 8 straight. This Lynchburg team won the 2016 championship. Hornets have been bounced in the quarterfinals each of the past 3 seasons. Washington and Lee is looking to make a 4th straight appearance in the semifinal round. The Generals have not advanced all the way to the championship game since Chris McHugh was a senior back in 2009, and that's their only appearance at the ODAC final during the current century. These 2 teams dominated the early years of ODAC basketball. Washington and Lee won 3 of the first 4 titles, 1977, 78, and 80. Lynchburg, meanwhile, appeared in 4 of the first 5 championship games, lost to WNO in 77 and 78. The Hornets won the crown in 1979. Somebody's moving on. Washington and Lee in search of a 21st win. Lynchburg trying to break out of that late season slump. So glad to have you with us. Our coverage tonight on WLUR All Access and the ODAC Sports Network. Jeremy Franklin with you courtside at the Salem Civic Center for the last of the 8 conference quarterfinals. Again, the 4 women's games on Thursday and the 4 men's games taking place on this penultimate day in the month of February. Leap Day basketball in the semifinal round on Saturday. Championship doubleheader Sunday, the 1st of March. The women's title game tips off at 1. The men will square off at 3:30. Teams huddling up as we are just about set to go. Washington and Lee is the higher seed in the home white. The WNO women upset last night as the number 2 seed, beaten by Guilford 84-77. The Lynchburg women, the number 8 seed, they gave top seed Emory and Henry all they could ask for before the Wasps prevailed 61-57. Leading scorers for these teams, both all ODAC selections. William Brueggemann at 18 a game, 2nd in the conference. Theron Suggs at 15.3. Got the top 2 rebounders in this conference as well. Curtis Mitchell averaging a double-double, 10.4 points and 10 boards even. T.C. Thacker right behind, 9.6 rebounds per game, along with 14.3 points. So again, WNL in white, Lynchburg in black. It'll be Reggie Davis and Curtis Mitchell on the tip to get us underway. Lots of blue across from us, lots of red and black behind us. Lynchburg controls the tap, and the Hornets attack the goal to our left here in the opening 20. Generals start off in man-to-man. Ball comes inside to Thacker. Mark Lamendola knocks it away. Again, those are the 2 guys who missed the tail end of the regular season. Lamendola did not play on Saturday against Ferrum. Thacker had to sit out the final 2 games. The Hornets have not taken the floor in 9 days. They had the last bye in the 13-team conference, so their last game was a loss to Roanoke on the 19th. A deep 3 out front for Chance Green, no good. Thacker comes crashing in for the offensive rebound, and his stick back provides the first points of the contest. At the other end, Lamendola dribbles to the left elbow, backs out against Davis. The Hornets also in man-to-man. Mitchell gets a touch in the high post. He'll hand to Kevin Denton. Denton to the left elbow. One-handed floater is up and rattles home to tie the game at 2. And that'll allow the Generals to pick up some pressure as well. 2-2-1. No trouble for Lynchburg on the first look. Green handles it out front, averaging an even 4 assists per game. Thacker sets the high screen. Green to the right wing. Around the horn it comes to Theron Suggs. He'll dribble top of the key, bounce pass inside to Thacker, posting up on Denon. Little baby hook will not go. Battle for the rebound, and it is knocked out off the Generals. Beg your pardon, that was Cody Lang with the post-up move there for the Hornets. Wrong Amherst County alum. Lang will inbound. He comes to Green, out front to Thacker. Now to the right side to Davis. Going down low to Lang. Kick out to Davis, ready to shoot the three, and he knocks it down. Reggie Davis buries the triple. It's 5-2 Hornets. Generals work it quickly inside to Curtis Mitchell. Fadeaway short jumper, no good. The Hornets have the rebound. At the other end, it's Green. Lowers the shoulder, can't get by Denon. Steps back out, fires up the three. That's no good. And it's rebounded by Mitchell. Ahead to Lamondola. This Generals team likes to play up-tempo. Inside it comes for Manigault. The leaner no good. Mitchell the offensive rebound. And Mitchell the post-up. That won't go, and it's secured by Davis. Some looks for the Generals on that possession. A couple of close-range misses. Now the Hornets have it. At the other end, it comes inside for Thacker, but stolen away by Mitchell. Mitchell runs the floor. Stops at the elbow, feeds to Denon. He will pull up on the left baseline. Miss everything on a short jumper. Davis ahead for the Hornets. Frenetic tempo in the opening 2+ minutes. Inside it comes to Green. Layup high off the glass to get it up and over Mitchell. And it goes down. 7-2 Hornets, 17:41 to play. Lamondola top of the key, guarded by Davis. Comes around to Mitchell's screen. Ball knocked away by Lang. Last touch by Lamondola. It'll go back to the Hornets. Good start here for Lynchburg. And we see an early change for the Generals as Sam Wise, the rookie point guard and WNL's assist leader, replaces Mark Lamondola. Hornets 3 of 6 from the field. The Generals 1 of 5 in the early going. Lynchburg also +3 on the glass. That is a matchup to watch. These are two of the better rebounding teams in the conference. The Generals are second in rebounding margin. The Hornets third. Green between the circles. Right wing pass to Davis. Davis out front to Thacker. Around it comes to Green. Inside for Thacker. Ball knocked away by Wise. Thacker recovers. Shot clock at 7. Out to Theron Suggs, who's guarded by Manigault. Suggs to the right baseline. Fade away. 18-footer no. And William Brueggemann charging in for the rebound. And then a reach-in foul on the Hornets. You listen to that interview with Coach McHugh. One of the things he mentioned about William Brueggemann, how good a rebounder he is, that he doesn't get enough credit. 6.8 boards per game for Brueggemann. That's 15th in the conference. Not bad for a 6'3 guy to go along with the 18 points per game that he scores. Generals need a bucket here. They're down by 5 early on. Noah Bullock has come in for Lynchburg, as has Israel Lockamy. Brueggemann, the pull-up over Thacker, is well short. Top of the key jump shot, no good, and it will be Lynchburg basketball. Washington and Lee will fire up a lot of jump shots. The Generals lead the ODAC in three-point makes. They've got Bullock trapped. He gets it away to Green, and then Kevin Denon comes up and makes some contact. That'll be the first Generals foul of the game. WDL averages 10.4 makes per game. They've hit 261 three-pointers this year, a new program record. And both William Brueggemann and Kevin Denon have eclipsed what was the single season mark. Brueggemann has hit 67 trays, Denon right behind at 65. All the jump shots they've taken so far have been long twos. It's 7-2 Hornets. Great feed inside from one big to the other. Cody Lang the lob for T.C. Thacker, who gets his second bucket, and it's 9-2. 16.5 to go first half. Here's Brueggemann top of the key. Off the dribble, pull-up three, in and out. We've got a foul on the rebound on the Hornets, so it will stay at this end. That is on Cody Lang, and that is his second personal. He's picked up both Lynchburg fouls, so right away, Dal Dunton, the first front court option off the bench for the Hornets, will check in. Jack Lewis and Mark Krogan have come on the floor for Washington and Lee. The ball comes into Denon. Long left wing three is good. So there's that first three-point make. And we've got an early timeout taken by Chris McHugh. Kevin Denon's got the first 5 of the game for the Generals. And it's a 9-5 Lynchburg lead with 16:22 to play in the first half. Hornets are 3 out of 6. Make it 4 out of 7, counting that last basket for T.C. Thacker. And the Generals now 2 of 8 from the floor. Got their first make from three-point range. And for Kevin Denon, that was the 156th three-pointer of his career. He is 4th all-time, now 5 three-pointers ahead of William Brueggemann, who does have another year to go. Both guys just passed their former teammate Roy McMillan. Thacker into Bullock. Green, Dutton, and Lockamy on the floor for Lynchburg. It's Lewis, Denon, Brueggemann, Sam Wise, and Mark Krogan for Washington and Lee. 16-12 to play first half. Hornets 9, Generals 5. T.C. Thacker, top of the key, hands off to Green. Bounce pass back to Thacker. He will stop and pop the 10-footer. Nothing but net. T.C. Thacker back from injury and making the early difference for the Hornets. He's got 6, and that's the margin by which Lynchburg leads. Kevin Denon, wing right side for the Generals, across to Brueggemann. Brueggemann, shot fake. He'll take it down the lane, muscles it up around Thacker, no good, and the weak side rebound to Dutton. Up the right sideline comes Chance Green. Green the spin move on Lewis, gets to the baseline, feed back out to Thacker. He will pull up for another mid-range jumper, no good, but he was fouled on the play. The late closeout will put T.C. Thacker at the free throw line as William Brueggemann made contact on the release. T.C. Thacker, an excellent foul shooter. How many bigs do you see who shoot 85% from the free throw line? The first team all-conference selection. First one here is up and good. He's dropped 6 20-point games this season. He had 30 points, a career high, and 13 rebounds in the overtime loss to Randolph-Macon 3 weeks ago. One of 9 double-doubles for Thacker on the season. Second free throw good. He already has 8 points in less than 4.5 minutes. Lynchburg 13, WNL 5. Robert DeCibio out there for the Generals. Mark Lamondola has come back in. Lamondola has it on the right wing. Lamondola the drive, and he's fouled. He got a step on Lockamy, who has to send him to the free throw line. Mark Lamondola averaging 9.1 points, 2.8 assists, and 1.8 steals, that last number. Good for 4th in the conference. 19 points in the regular season game. He led Washington and Lee against Lynchburg. First free throw well short. Second one on its way and good to make it 13-6 with 15:24 to go. Hornets haven't been bothered too much by the Generals' full-court defense in the opening minutes. Noah Bullock handles it out front. Up the left side to Suggs, who works it inside to Thacker. Skip to the corner to Israel Lockamy, who nails the three. What a look that was from Thacker. And Lockamy puts the Hornets up by 10. At the other end, a steal for Lockamy after Sam Wise fed DeCibio under the basket. Looked like an easy layup, instead a takeaway for the Hornets. Thacker will try the jump shot. 3-ball rims out, and DeCibio with the rebound. Here comes Sam Wise. Wise hands off to Lamondola. 16-6 Hornets, 14:42 to play. Sam Wise on the wing. Wise down the lane, feeds the corner to Mitchell, back out to Manigault. Manigault down the lane, away to Lamondola, off to DeCibio, right side three, no good, and the ball rebounded by T.C. Thacker. Hornets have been hot on the offensive end, the Generals have not. Post up, Dow Dutton trying to lean around DeCibio, and he draws a foul. Let's see who this is on. Mitchell came over as the help defender, and it is going to go against Curtis Mitchell. His first, 3rd team foul, and free throws now for Dow Dutton, the sophomore from Wake Forest, North Carolina. Dutton has played in every game but one this season, averaging 4.8 points, 5.2 rebounds. Hits the first free throw. He shoots 64% from the field, only 43% at the charity stripe. He's got a chance to put his team up by 12 with 14:19 to play first half. He does not. 1-2 for Dunton. It's 17-6. Up the floor comes Sam Wise for Washington and Lee. Guarded by Luke Romeo, who just subbed in for Lynchburg. Got to watch beyond the three-point arc at the other end. Now Wise away to Manigault. He's open, left side three. That's no good. Battle for the rebound. Sam Wise will track it down in the quarter after a Mitchell tap. Out front looking for Manigault. That's stolen away by Suggs. Hornets have numbers. Dropped off by Lockamy for T.C. Thacker, who's in double figures just over 6 minutes into the game, and Lynchburg leads it 19-6. Curtis Mitchell to the elbow. Hands off to Mark Lamandola. Lamandola right side to Sam Wise. Inside for Mitchell. Mitchell posting up Thacker. Suggs there to help, and Suggs takes the ball away, and then a frustration foul from Curtis Mitchell. That's his second. Not the start that Washington and Lee would have scripted here. It's all Lynchburg in the early going. Timeout on the floor. 13:29 to play first half. The Hornets up 19-6. We'll come right back to Salem for more ODAC men's basketball quarterfinal action.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Jeremy Franklin back with you. Lynchburg with a terrific start tonight. 19-6. The Hornets lead at T.C. Thacker, making up for lost time after he missed the last two regular season games. 10 points. He is 4 of 5 from the field, made a pair of free throws as well. As a team, the Hornets are 7 of 12, and Washington and Lee just 2 of 11. Kevin Denton's the only general with a basket so far, a 2 and a 3. Mark Lamandola split a pair of free throws. And to make matters worse for Washington and Lee, the ODAC Defensive Player of the Year's on the bench now. Curtis Mitchell just picked up his second foul. Lamandola, Brueggemann, Denon, Krogan, and Manigault out for the Generals. Dunton, Suggs, Lockamy, Romeo, and Justin Elkin has checked in for the Hornets, the rookie from Fairfax. Romeo has it on the left wing. And we have a 3-second violation, I believe, on Dow Dunton. Either way, it's the second Lynchburg turnover, and the Generals get possession back with 13:12 to play. Reggie Davis coming back in for Lynchburg. Chance Green returning as well. Suggs and Lockamy exit. Cody Lang's been sitting for a while with 2 fouls for Lynchburg, so both teams dealing with some front court foul trouble. Hasn't really hurt the Hornets so far. What can the Generals do without Mitchell, who's so good as a passer in addition to the defense and the rebounds? Lamandola working baseline, kick back to the wing to Brueggemann. Brueggemann down the lane, the runner is up and good. Tough shot for William Brueggemann. The ODAC's second leading scorer is now on the board. It's 19-8. Brought across the timeline by Davis. Out front to Chance Green. Green between the circles, left side pass to Davis. Now it comes around to Elkin. He'll give it to Romeo. Ball staying on the perimeter right now. Shot clock is under 10. Green, 25-footer, nothing but net from the wing. Nothing happening on offense that possession, so Green will just bury a 3, and the Hornets lead it by 14. Krogan at the other end, hands off to Kevin Denon. Off the dribble, he'll pop the 3 ball. That's in and out. Rebounded by Dunton. Hornets 22, Generals 8, 12:05 to play first half here in Salem. Here is Romeo, a long right side 3, same spot where Green just hit one. Romeo misses, but the Generals, what a save by Manigault. It looked like they had failed to control the rebound. Manigault able to save it into a teammate in Mark Krogan. Lamandola at the other end takes it inside. Lamandola post up, a great footwork and a kiss off the glass to get that around Davis. And then Chris McHugh will spend another timeout. Got the bucket there, but not happy with the way his team has opened the game. Lynchburg in front by 12 with 11:43 to play in the first half. We'll come right back to Salem.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear. Because for 75 years, he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like, if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So be careful out there. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Well, it's Lynchburg 22, Washington in lead 10 with 11:43 to play in the first half. Lynchburg, as we mentioned top of the broadcast, lost 6 of its last 8 regular season games. Did not have a weekend game, so the Hornets haven't played in 9 days. Maybe not a bad thing for Hillary Scott's team. They go over the top to beat the Generals press and get an open bucket for Reggie Davis. So the lead is right back to 14. Hornets may be able to refocus during that extended layoff. Get back to the formula that was working over the first half of the ODAC schedule when they were 7-1. William Brueggemann right side 3 is good. The Generals need a lot more of that as he hits one from well outside the arc. It's 24-13, 11:15 to play. Generals, it looks like, have switched into a zone defense. Davis is open left side and hits the 3. Great start for Reggie Davis. He's got 8 points, 27-13, 9 minutes in. Krogan top of the key, right side to Denon. Denon looking for Jack Lewis on the cut. Lewis double team now on the baseline. Finds Wise, away to Brueggemann. He will take another 3. He will make another 3. Brueggemann's got 8. The Generals starting to heat up, but will Lynchburg cool off? 27-16, 10:37 to play in the opening half. Hornets are 10 of 16 from the field. The Generals have hit 4 of their last 5. Davis on the wing, inside to Elkin. Offensive foul. He threw the forearm right into the chest of Brueggemann. Elkin getting some minutes here with Cody Lang in foul trouble. Picks up his first personal. Gus Wise getting set to check in for the Generals. He'll play with his brother Sam, along with Brueggemann, Denon, and Lewis. For the Hornets right now, Thacker just returned out there with Green, Romeo. Suggs also back in, along with Lockamy. Generals have it. They trail by 11. Sam Wise driving in from the left wing, and he took a bump. Was that on the way up? Theron Suggs will be assessed a foul. It is indeed of the shooting variety. And to the line goes Sam Wise with a rookie season for the Winchester native. Made his first career start against Ferrum last weekend in place of the injured Mark Lamondola. Otherwise, he's been coming off the bench all year and doing that while leading the Generals and ranking 5th in the conference in assists at 3.8 per game. First free throw up and good for Wise. Second one on its way, also good. His first 2 points of the night cut the Lynchburg lead down to 9. Chance Green sprinting ahead for Lynchburg. Stops out front against Lewis. Green around a Thacker screen. Dishes off to Dutton. Comes back to Green, still 16 to shoot. Here's Suggs, top of the key. He's wide open. His 3-ball no good. Suggs has yet to score tonight. TC Thacker saves in the rebound on the sideline, but it's scooped up by Gus Wise. 27-18, 9:49 to play. Brueggemann, a deep 3. He's fouled on this shot. No stranger to pulling up and shooting from 25, 26 feet. And he caught the Lynchburg defense off guard. Dal Dutton picks up the foul, and 3 free throws coming up for William Brueggemann. 82% foul shooter, 4th in the conference. Right behind the Lynchburg pair of Theron Suggs and TC Thacker. First of his trio of foul shots on its way and good. Finally got that 30-point game against Ferrum. He had a handful of 29-point games this season, including contest against William Peace and St. Mary's this year. 28-point game against Roanoke the first go-round. Knocks down all 3 free throws, and the Generals starting to creep back in this game. They have cut the margin down to 6 with 9:48 to go. Curtis Mitchell will come back in. He's been sitting for a while with the 2 personals. Mark Lamendola has returned as well. Brueggemann will get a breather. 27-21. Thacker out front to Green. Away to Theron Suggs. Up top for Dunton. He'll dish off to Green. Green guarded by Gus Wise, 11 to shoot. Green takes his man, gets down the lane, and gets fouled. Off the switch, the Generals had a big against the speedy Chance Green. Will go to the line for 2. Mark Lamendola picks up the foul, coming over as the help defender. And free throws for Chance Green, the native of Creedmoor, North Carolina. That's my neck of the woods. Grew up about 25 miles away in Henderson. Excellent foul shooter is Green at 75%. First one, nothing but net. 21st all-time in scoring at Lynchburg is Green. Hit the 1,000-point mark earlier this year. He's got 7 tonight after hitting that second free throw. And Lynchburg has taken a 29-21 lead. And I believe Hillary Scott has called a timeout. He has. It's a 30-second break, so we'll keep it right here. 9:26 left first half. Hornets up by 8. Winner will take on the number 2 seed Virginia Wesleyan, 8 o'clock Saturday night in the semifinals after it's Randolph-Macon and Roanoke 1 versus 5. And the first semifinal contest, and those games will take place after the women's semis set for Saturday afternoon. Emory and Henry and Randolph-Macon at 1 o'clock. Roanoke and Guilford at 3. You can watch all of those games as well as the championship doubleheader on Sunday on the ODAC Sports Network. Early leaders here, TC Thacker with 10 points, Reggie Davis 8, Chance Green 7. On the Lynchburg side for the Generals, William Brueggemann's got 11, Kevin Denon with 5. Hornets have led by as many as 14 points. Generals have it now down 8. Curtis Mitchell, feet inside for Brueggemann, knocked out by Lockaby with the shot clock at 17. Richie Manigault in, Jack Lewis out, one rookie for another on the W&L side. Inbounds play will be run by Lamendola. Trying to set a double screen for Denon. Instead, Brueggemann breaks free and parries a 3 on the left side. The initial look did not work, and the Generals went through the reads like a quarterback picking out his receivers, and Brueggemann has buried his 3rd 3. 70 this season, extending his program record, and Mark Lamendola reaches in and forces a turnover. Almost got a clean steal. Theron Suggs ends up touching the basketball again when his toe was on the sideline, or maybe he dribbled out of bounds. Either way, it'll be Washington and Lee ball. It's a 5-point game, 8:53 to play first half. Mitchell at the left elbow. Squares to the rim, now hands off to Brueggemann. Another 3, and he gets fouled again. Able to get some space around Mitchell for the second time this half. William Brueggemann will shoot 3 free throws. A chance to make this a 1-possession game. Washington and Lee currently on an 11-2 run as Brueggemann goes to the line. TC Thacker just picked up his first foul. Brueggemann's first free throw good. That's team foul number 7. So Washington and Lee will be in the bonus for the last 8 minutes and 44 seconds. The Generals have been whistled for 5. They got 1 more to give. Brueggemann rims out the second foul shot. 1 more chance to make this a 3-point game. Third free throw, in and out. So 1 of 3 for Brueggemann, but he's got 15 points, and it's 29-25. Theron Suggs, they could use contribution from him. Goes inside to Thacker, posting up Manigault. Got him up in the air. Nice finish by Thacker. First bucket in a while for him, but he has a dozen. 31-25 Hornets. Mitchell at the other and spins around Thacker, lays it up and in. That's the first bucket for Mitchell. Right back to a 4-point margin. Green dribbling out front against Lamendola. Leaves it for Thacker, who gives to Suggs. Suggs around a pick from Thacker, who's got Manigault on him off the switch. Thacker gets it left elbow. Thacker fakes the jumper, drives in. Mitchell comes over to help, and someone committed a foul there. And it's Curtis Mitchell, and that's number 3. T.C. Thacker, you can see what he means to this Lynchburg team. They beat Shenandoah without him and lost badly at home to Roanoke when he set out the last 2 games of the season. First free throw here is up and rolls in. And Curtis Mitchell, you have to imagine his first half is over with 7:58 to go. 3 fouls for the second-team All-Conference selection, the 2-time ODAC Defensive Player of the Year. He's the only player who's ever won that award. It was created last season. Thacker gets him both, 14 for the first-team All-ODAC performer. And the Lynchburg lead back to 6. Krogan right elbow. One dribble. Kicks it back out to Lamondola. Lamondola around a Krogan screen. Lamondola takes it inside. Shot blocked by Thacker. Saves the ball inbounds, though, to Sam Wise, who lays it up and in and gets fouled. Thacker made a mistake there. It was a great defensive play. One of the cardinal rules of basketball, you never blindly save the ball in underneath your opponent's basket. And the Generals make him pay for that. Reggie Davis, the foul, 3-point play chance for Sam Wise, trying to pull the Generals to within 3 with 7:37 left in the half, and he does. 33-30. Green has it, screen out front from Dutton. Green driving down the lane, the floater is up and good. Teardrop for Chance Green. He's got 9, it's 35-30. Sam Wise at the other end. Now to Krogan. He'll hand off to Wise. Wise going down the lane. His shot emphatically rejected by Thacker, but the Generals stick with it. And it's Sam Wise who got the putback. And then Sam Wise gets the foul, trying to reach in from behind at the other end against Green. That's Wise's first, but it's the 7th team foul. So that'll be a 1-and-1 for Chance Green at this 7:02 mark of the first half. Lynchburg 35, Washington and Lee 32. The Hornets had an early 14-point lead. The Generals have gotten back in this game. Front end of the bonus jumper, Green, and good. He's got a chance for his 11th point, already in double figures now is Green. 15th time he has hit that mark this season, only the 3rd time in the last 8 games. This Lynchburg offense was not nearly as productive down the stretch as it had been most of the season. But Green and Thacker, with some help from the likes of Reggie Davis, have gotten a lot of points on the scoreboard tonight. Deep top of the key 3 for Jack Lewis is short, rebounded by Noah Bullock. And here comes Green back the other way for the Hornets. He will step into a deep 3 and drain it. Chance Green is feeling it for Lynchburg. That was way beyond the arc, and the Hornets lead by 8. Green matching Thacker with 14 early points. Krogan tries to hit Brueggemann on the backdoor cut. Brueggemann does really well to get that basketball in traffic, misses the one-handed floater, and the Hornets have the rebound. Chance Green at the other, and little crossover. Green inside. Layup attempt, no. The Hornets begging for a foul, and the ball rebounded by Brueggemann. 40-32 Hornets, 6:08 to play. First half here, entertaining stuff in Salem. Brueggemann's fouled on the drive at the other end. He'll shoot 1-and-1 on the 9th Lynchburg team foul. It's the 2nd personal on Dow Dutton. More foul trouble for the Lynchburg front court. We have not seen Cody Lang since he picked up those 2 early fouls. Curtis Mitchell continues to sit with 3 personals for W&L. Brueggemann is 4 of 6 at the line tonight. He has been fouled twice on 3-point shots. He made all 3 on one occasion, 1 of 3 on the second. Dutton will stay in with 2 fouls. Jamil Pasha on for the first time tonight for the Hornets. Davis back in, Suggs and Bullock round out the set. Brueggemann misses. Lewis taps the rebound right to Denon. Misses the 3 ball off the offensive board. Rebounded by Theron Suggs. At the other end it comes to Bullock. Quickly inside to Dutton. Posting up to Sibio. Dutton Gets it back to the perimeter to Davis. He will stop and pop a three. That's no good. And the rebound battled for and won by Dinnan. The quick outlet to Lewis. No numbers here for the Generals. Lewis will take it anyway. Muscles up the short jumper. It's no good. Maybe better served to wait for some help there. At the other end, Bullock hands to Davis. Kick to Suggs. Right side three is up and good. The first points of the night for Lynchburg's leading scorer. The lead is back to double digits, 43-32. Kevin Dinnan misses a three at the other end. Brueggemann grabs the rebound, kicks it out to Lewis. Away to DeCibio. DeCibio down the paint. The runner is up and good for Rob DeCibio. Had some great games down the stretch of the regular season. He breaks the Lynchburg run and makes it 43-34. 5 minutes to play in the first half here at the Salem Civic Center. ODAC Men's Hoops quarterfinals. Pasha for three left side. That's good. Lynchburg is 7 of 13 from beyond the arc as Pasha joins the party. 46-34. Inside to Brueggemann, low block jumper on its way and good. Brueggemann's got 17, 46-36. Scoreboard operator having a hard time keeping up with all the points that are being poured in by both teams tonight. Pasha wing left side, back out front to Theron Suggs. He'll pull up for the elbow jumper. That's no good. Brueggemann elevates, had the rebound, slipped through his fingertips, but evidently last touch by the Hornets. So it'll be Washington and Lee basketball as it goes out across the baseline. Got a timeout taken by the Hornets. And again, we will keep it here, a 10-point margin with 4:19 remaining in the first half. Lynchburg has led for pretty much the entire game so far, up by as many as 14. The Generals had worked their way back within three, but Lynchburg countered, and now the lead at double figures. William Brueggemann leading all scorers with 17. Samwise has 7, Kevin Dinnan with 5. Maybe the big story for the Generals right now, Curtis Mitchell on the bench with 3 personals. He's only played 7 minutes so far tonight. On the Lynchburg side, 14 apiece from Chance Green and T.C. Thacker, 8 for Reggie Davis. Only 1 basket so far for the third-team all-conference selection, Theron Suggs, who averages over 15 a game. And even with just the 3 points from Suggs, Lynchburg approaching the half-century mark. 46-36, 4:17 and counting to play as Mark Lamendola sprints ahead. DeCibio sets the screen. Lamendola goes the other way. Lost it in the corner against Noah Bullock, and it's out of bounds. Back to Lynchburg. That's the 5th W&L turnover. Noah Bullock's playing time increasing as the year went on. He started the last 2 games of the regular season. Part of the Class 6 state championship team with South County High School in Lorton. Bullock on the attack. He misses a contested layup. And here comes Jack Lewis back the other way. Away to Manigault. Pulls up left baseline. 12-footer, no good. Rebounded by Romeo. At the other end, Suggs on the left side. Feed to the post to Thacker. The post up over Brueggemann, and he drops that one home. 16 for Thacker. 48-36 Hornets. 48-38 Hornets as the Generals explode down the floor. And Richie Manigault gets his first points of the night on the layup. The assist will lead to Mark Lamendola there. Generals will transition after an opponent's made basket, and they did that on that occasion. Inside to Thacker. Turnaround over Lamendola this time, in and out, and rebounded by DeCibio. It's actually Brueggemann who got the assist on that last Manigault basket. Lamendola out front across to Jack Lewis. Inside of 3 minutes to play first half, 10-point Lynchburg lead. And it looks like we have a foul away from the basketball on the Hornets. That's on Noah Bullock, his first. It's the 10th team foul, so 2 free throws coming up for Mark Lamendola. Lamendola's got 3 points tonight. He's 1 of 2 at the foul line. Clock stop with 2:56 to play. Lamendola's first free throw up and in. Dow Dutton returning for Lynchburg. It's Dutton, Romeo, Thacker, Suggs, and Green now. Samwise, DeCibio, Manigault, Denon, and one more free throw coming up for Lamendola, but it looks like the other mark, Krogan, will take his place if Lamendola hits this. He does not. In and out. And the rebound to Thacker, his fifth. 48-39 Hornets. On the right side, it's Green. Out front to Romeo. Away to Theron Suggs. Back to Romeo. Around a Thacker screen he goes. Going inside to Thacker, who's working on Denon. No look pass to Theron Suggs right underneath the basket. Great dish by Thacker, and Suggs lays it up and in. 50 on the board for the Hornets, up by 11 with 2:25 left of the first half. Here is Kevin Denon. Denon away to Manigault on the right side. Manigault out to Lamendola. Across to Manigault. Dribbles to the foul line, gives it back to Lamendola. Shot clock at 10. Lamendola backing down Green, who goes down looking for a charge. Nothing doing, but Lamendola misses, and the Hornets have the rebound. Suggs at the other end. Pulls up left elbow, jumper rattles around and out. Rebounded by DeCibio. Minute 53 to go. 50-39 Hornets, and another timeout taken here by Chris McHugh. 11-point margin with 1:51 remaining in the first half. And we will step aside. We'll come right back to Salem for more ODAC tournament action on WLUR and the ODAC Sports Network.
911, what is your emergency?
My kid shot himself.
All right, where's the wound, sir?
911, what's your emergency?
Please help. My son shot his brother.
911, what is your emergency? Okay.
911, please state your emergency.
Every day, 8 kids and teens are unintentionally killed or injured by loaded and unlocked guns.
It wasn't locked.
Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and End Family Fire.
Minute 51 to play first half. Jeremy Franklin with you here in Salem. Lynchburg 50, Washington and Lee 39. The Hornets have been spectacular on the offensive end. They are shooting 57% from the field. They are 7 of 13 from 3. And just for good measure, 9 of 10 at the free throw line. Washington and Lee, the number 1 scoring offense in the conference. Lynchburg was right on the Generals' tails most of the season. The Hornets entered the tournament in 3rd place in that statistical category, averaging only about 68 points per game during that skid in the second half of the ODAC schedule, but they have brought it tonight. Thacker and Green have combined for 30, Reggie Davis 8. Theron Suggs has been relatively quiet. Samwise attacks, blocked by Thacker at the rim. Terrific help defense. Thacker doing it all right now. He's got 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 blocks, and 16 points. Final 90 seconds out of the opening 20. Hornets looking to add to an 11-point lead. A steal here for Mark Krogan, just about. Deflection, but the Hornets get it back. Suggs foul line jumper, no good. Suggs elevates over Krogan to get the rebound, kicks it out to Romeo. Back to Suggs on the perimeter. Down low to Thacker, turn and shoot 10-footer, won't go. And Dutton, I believe, over the back of Manigault on the rebound. That is the call. That'll be the 3rd on Dow Dutton. Maybe sacrificed in terms of playing time just so Cody Lang can be available in the second half. Lang checked out early with the 2 fouls. Has not returned. He's not coming back in now. It's Jamil Pasha who will replace Dutton as Manigault shoots 2. First one no good. Richie Manigault has been terrific from 3-point range this season, but he struggled at the foul line, only 58%. Washington and Lee is now 9 of 15 at the line. Make it 10 of 16 as Manigault gets the second to go. 50-40 with 64 seconds left in the half. Generals have been in full-court defense for much of the night. It hasn't really fazed Lynchburg. Only 4 turnovers so far. Green handles it at midcourt against Denon. Now Green pulls up top of the key. Another long 3. This one won't go. Pasha runs down the rebound in the corner. He's left alone. He misses the three, and now it's secured by Brueggemann. 40 seconds left in the half. The Generals have it down by 10. Lamandola steps back out against Green. Krogan comes to set the screen. Lamandola leaves it to Denon. He will launch the right side three. That's good. Second three ball for Kevin Denon. That makes it a 7-point game with 24.9 to go. We had a stoppage in play, so the Hornets will make a switch. Israel Lakami replacing Luke Romeo. And the Hornets battling the Generals' press. It's brought across by Lakami. He'll hand off to Green. Left side, it goes to Suggs. 10 seconds left. Thacker top of the key. Hand off to Green. Green guarded by Sam Wise. Green dribbles corner, feeds out front to Lakami. Lakami kick to the left corner. Pasha wide open at the buzzer. And they will count the basket. But they will take a look at this. We do have video replay in the ODAC tournament this year. So they will check to see whether Jamil Pasha got that shot away in time. And we'll keep it here until we get a confirmation. At worst, Lynchburg is up by 7 at halftime. At best, they'll have a 53-43 advantage. The Generals seem pretty adamant that Pasha did not get that shot off in time. But again, the officials, if you're watching the video broadcast, you can see them down in the corner of the screen with J.J. Nekalaw from the ODAC office taking another look at that shot for Pasha. Great first half for Lynchburg. 16 for T.C. Thacker, 14 for Chance Green, 8 for Reggie Davis. William Brueggemann leading the Generals with 17, Kevin Denon 8, and Sam Wise 7. Coming up on the WLUR broadcast, we'll hear from William Brueggemann, the first-team All-Conference selection, the ODAC's second leading scorer. A break is coming on the ODAC Sports Network, after which we'll rejoin you with some halftime statistics and another quick recap of all the action that we've seen in the ODAC men's quarterfinals. Earlier in the day, Randolph-Macon and Roanoke winning in the afternoon session. They'll meet at 6 o'clock tomorrow. And then Virginia Wesleyan awaits the victor here at 8 p.m. on Leap Day night. Women's semifinals Saturday afternoon. Emory and Henry, Randolph-Macon at 1. And Roanoke and Guilford will square off at 3 o'clock. That's a 6-7 matchup after the Maroons beat Bridgewater and the Quakers upset Washington and Lee in the women's quarterfinals on Thursday night. Video review ongoing to determine whether or not that last second three from Jamil Pasha will count. If so, it will be the 8th three-pointer of the first half for Lynchburg on 16 attempts. Difference between a 10-point lead and a 7-point advantage at the intermission as they continue to review the play in question. New technology here. The first time we've had video replay available at the Salem Civic Center for the ODAC basketball tournament. Has to be conclusive as well based on the angle that they're looking at. And they're going to wave it off. So no basket there for Jamil Pasha. So it'll be a 7-point margin at halftime. Lynchburg 50 and Washington and Lee 43. We'll say goodbye for now on the ODAC Sports Network. You'll rejoin us for the second half on WLUR Lexington 91.5 FM and WLUR All Access. We'll be right back with a conversation with William Brueggemann. 50-43, Lynchburg on top of Washington and Lee halftime in the ODAC men's basketball quarterfinals.
3, 2, 1. Oh no. Which button am I?
When every second counts, you can't wing it.
Guys, a little help up here?
In a home fire, you may have less than 2 minutes to get out. So make a family home fire escape plan. Then practice home fire drills at least twice a year so everyone knows what to do when they hear. Prepare your family at ready.gov/fire drill. Brought to you by FEMA, the Ad Council, and Make Safe Happen.
Melissa from Michigan. I work an extra part-time job serving lunch at my child's school, but I still can't afford to put food on our table.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Halftime here in the ODAC quarterfinals. It's Lynchburg 50, Washington and Lee 43. Again, that last-second three-pointer from Jamil Pasha waved off after the video review, so a 7-point lead for the Hornets at the break. Been a great junior season for the Houston native William Brueggemann, the first-team ODAC selection, who leads all scorers so far tonight with 17. He sat down with me in the WLUR studio earlier this week for our halftime conversation. Jeremy Franklin joined now by Washington and Lee junior William Brueggemann. William, thanks for sitting down with me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Let's talk about the way the team closed out the regular season, a 96-85 win down at Ferrum. You had your first career 30-point game against the Panthers. How pleased were you with the performance right before the ODAC tournament?
It was really good. Ferrum's a good team. We knew that. We knew it was a big win, especially get to 20 wins on the season for us. So we knew we had to come out there and compete, and I think everyone felt that we did that. Especially a tight game at halftime, coming out and going on a nice little run to get ahead and get that 10-point lead, and then continue to win. So I was really happy, and I think everyone was really happy with that win against a good Ferrum team.
The team lost some key players to graduation last year, and early on it maybe looked like there were signs of rebuilding. Some tough losses in November and December. Since the middle of December, the team is 15-2. The only losses are on the road to two very good teams in Randolph-Macon and Virginia Wesleyan. What started clicking for the Generals after the first maybe 5 or 6 weeks of the year?
Yeah, I think we had a lot of new guys, a lot of freshmen, getting some sophomores in there too. And really just kind of learning to play with each other, learning kind of what coach wanted, especially on the defensive end and then also on the offensive end because, offense, it's a lot of chemistry. And so I think as the year grew on and moved on into, I think really over Christmas break, we kind of started feeling good and into January in that stretch. I think we won like 8 in a row, something like that. Our offense was really clicking and then young guys really knew what we were looking for offensively, defensively. And so I think that defense, the way we were playing defense was really strong and together, and that led to our offense really starting to click and led to the success we've had this year. So,
before your final home game against Eastern Mennonite, we saw you guys wearing DTC final season T-shirts, which I think was a tongue-in-cheek joke that maybe Coach McHugh came up with. But tell me about the environment in the Duchess Watt Tennis Center for an interim space, just the intimate feel and a lot of great environment for home games there the past 2 years.
Yeah, for sure. Because there's not a whole lot of seating, so when people show up, it feels like a packed game, which I've really enjoyed. I thought it's made it a really hard environment for other teams to come into and play in. And it's provided us with a huge advantage going into games. We practice there every day. We know what to expect, and they may not, and it gives us a big advantage. I think we've showed that we can play really well in there, and we have played well. As Coach talked about it after our last game, I think our record in the DTC stands for itself, and I think it's meant a lot to our program so far this year.
You have set a program single-season record for made three-pointers, and it seems like throughout the year you and Kevin Denon have been trading places on that list as well as on the career list where I think you're still back-to-back. I know you guys don't take threes to pad your stats. You take threes to try to help the team win, but is there maybe a friendly rivalry with you and Kevin with the way you've been shooting the ball from the outside this year?
I don't know about a friendly rivalry, but I think we both know how good of shooters we both are. I mean, Kevin's one of the best shooters in the league, in the country, honestly. And so I think it's fun going back and forth. He'll have 7 threes one game. I know he tied the record earlier this year, and then I'll have a game where I have a couple 5 or 6 threes, and then it's kind of fun to go back and forth. But it really starts with our teammates kind of getting us the ball in great positions for us to set up those shots and coach's offense. So it's really a testament to our team, I'd say, as well as just the work me and Kevin have put in.
You two aren't the only very good outside shooters on this Washington and Lee team. How has the three-point shot become such a big part of the team's offensive identity?
Yeah, it for sure has. I mean, we work at it every day in practice. It's something we focus on. I think it also starts with going inside out, starting with our bigs, Mark and Curtis. They're huge players for us. I mean, Curtis is probably one of the best big men passers in the country or in the league. And so him getting the ball in there strong and then be able to find us either cutting or on the wing, it's been a huge advantage for us. I think we've worked really well with it.
Team has made it to the ODAC semifinals each of your first 2 years. I know you'd like to take that next step and get to the championship game, but it's going to start with a very tough matchup against a good Lynchburg team in the quarterfinals. How is the team approaching the tournament this weekend?
Yeah, so Lynchburg's a good team. We had a close game at their place earlier this year, I think 1 by 4. So we know we have to take everything seriously. We know they're coming to win, just like we are. But I think if we stick to what we've been doing all year, what Coach is preaching, our base and sticking to our defense and our offense and playing, the way we know how and sticking to focusing on us first, I think we'll be pleased with the result.
William, thanks so much for joining us. Best of luck down in Salem.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That's William Brueggemann, the first team All-ODAC selection, junior guard/forward for this Washington and Lee basketball team. The third-seeded Generals trailing the number 6 seed Lynchburg 50-43 halftime in the quarterfinal round at the Salem Civic Center. We'll come back for more, including first-half stats in just a moment.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Sweet strawberry icing. You're in Goodwill, and just past that vintage denim jacket you spot miniature donut earrings. You lean in. Ah, that's the scent of shopping success. Because at Goodwill, every item you buy funds local job training and more. So bring home those donut earrings and bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Our halftime score here in the ODAC men's basketball quarterfinals, Lynchburg 50, Washington and Lee 43. If you ran off right as the buzzer sounded in the first half, you might think the Hornets would be up by 10, but that last-second three-pointer from Jamil Pasha was waved off after a video review. I've not had a chance to see that replay myself, but the officials looked at it for a while. Some other folks down here on press row have taken a look, and seems to be unanimous that this shot should not have counted. Nevertheless, Lynchburg, 50 points in the first half, 17 of 34 from the field, hit 7 of 15 from three-point range, even without that final shot from Pasha, 9 of 10 at the foul line. Rebounding was even, 20 apiece. Turnovers, there were 4 for Lynchburg, 5 committed by Washington and Lee. The Generals shot 41% from the field, 14 of 34. A very cold start, but they warmed up down the stretch. W&L 5 of 13 from 3 and 10 of 16 from the free throw line. The individual numbers, T.C. Thacker had 16 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks. That's quadruple-double territory in terms of the pace that he's on for with the boards, the assists, and the blocks, and already well into double figures in scoring. Chance Green had 14 points, Reggie Davis with 8. Theron Suggs just 5 points. The leading scorer for the Hornets was 2 of 7 from the field. And then Cody Lang, one of the starters who averages about 8 points and 7 rebounds, picked up those 2 early fouls and set for a long time did not score. Off the bench, 3 apiece for Israel Lakami and Jamil Pasha. He had one that counted, and then 1 point and 3 rebounds for Dow Dutton. William Brueggemann, a game-high 17 points so far tonight. Also had 4 rebounds. He was 5 of 9 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3. Did miss 3 straight free throws down the stretch, the 82% foul shooter. Kevin Denham with 8 points, 2 of 5 from beyond the arc. Sam Wise had 7. Mark Lamondola, 4 points and 2 assists. Richie Manigault, 3 points. Curtis Mitchell, just 2 points tonight, only played about 7 minutes and picked up his 3rd personal foul. And then 2 points off the bench as well for Rob DeCibio. Earlier today, Randolph-Macon, Roanoke, and Virginia Wesleyan all won their quarterfinal contest. The Yellow Jackets, pretty convincing victory as the number 1 seed. They beat number 8 Hampton-Sydney 80-61. Roanoke has the 5, then topped number 4 Guilford, the defending tournament champion, 73-66. And then the number 2 seed Virginia Wesleyan earlier this evening pulled away very late from Ferrum, the number 7 seed, to win 71-62. Theme running through the ODAC this season, some very good young coaches who played in this conference. Hillary Scott is, I guess, in the older generation now. He may not agree with that sentiment. But then Chris McHugh at Washington and Lee, Tyler Sanborn and Caleb Kimbrough, who were both great players for Tom Palumbo at Guilford. Tyler Sanborn has Ferrum back in the thick of things. And then Hampton-Sydney, coached by Caleb Kimbrough, won 1 ODAC game last season. And the Tigers had a very solid campaign with Coach Kimbrough in his first year at the helm. 8-8 in the conference, finished 14-14 overall after the loss to Randolph-Macon earlier today. Coach McHugh guiding the Generals to their first 20-win season since 88-89. And again, as we told you at the top of the broadcast, the first time that WNL has won 20 games prior to the postseason since way back in 1976-77. And on the other side, Hillary Scott has turned Lynchburg into a perennial contender in this conference after the Hornets had 26 losing seasons in 27 years prior to his arrival a dozen seasons ago. 50-40 Lynchburg as our second half gets underway in just one moment. And again, to set the stage for you for another full day of basketball on Saturday. Semifinals on the women's side in the afternoon. The men's teams will take the floor in the evening. In women's hoops, the top seed Emory and Henry against the number 4 seed Randolph-Macon. That is at 1 p.m. tomorrow. Number 6 Roanoke, number 7 Guilford, both lower seeds won last night. They will square off at 3 o'clock. And then the evening session on Leap Day, Randolph-Macon and Roanoke. In men's basketball at 6, Virginia Wesleyan gets the winner of our game here at 8 p.m. Championship doubleheader on Sunday. The women's final at 1, the men's title game at 3:30. All 6 of those games later on this weekend you can watch on the ODAC Sports Network, ODACSN.com. Jeremy Franklin with you courtside in Salem as we get this second half underway. In just a moment, Lynchburg sprinting out of the gate, had that early 14-point lead. The Generals got it down to 3. Lynchburg stretched it back to double figures. And now 50-43 with 20 minutes back on the clock. Generals have made it to the ODAC semis each of the past 3 seasons. They lost to Randolph-Macon last year, to Roanoke 2 years ago under Chris McHugh. Lynchburg is trying to get back to the semifinal round for the first time in 4 years. They went all the way in 2016, beat crosstown rival Randolph in the championship game. William Brueggemann with 17 for WNL. T.C. Thacker and Chance Green have combined for 30 of Lynchburg's 50 points. Waiting to see who comes back out there to begin the second half. Curtis Mitchell with the 3 personals. So keep an eye on that. It is the starting lineup for the Generals. Mitchell, William Brueggemann, Richie Manigault, Kevin Denon, and Mark Lamondola. And it looks like the same set for Lynchburg. Cody Lang, who barely played in that first half due to foul trouble, out there with T.C. Thacker, Reggie Davis, Chance Green, and Theron Suggs. Generals basketball as we get back underway. WNL attacking The goal to our left here in the second half, down by 7. Curtis Mitchell gets it a high post, handoff to Lamondola. Driving dish to Brueggemann, right corner 3. T.C. Thacker closes out and blocks the shot, his 5th of the night. Hornets have it up 50-43. Chance Green pestered out front by Lamondola. Bounce pass ahead to Thacker at the left elbow. Thacker going down the lane, spins around Mitchell and lays it up and in. Monster game in the works for T.C. Thacker. He's got 18 points. It's 52-43 Hornets. At the other end, just about stole it away from Brueggemann. The ball deflects off the leg of Mitchell. On the other side of midcourt, picked up by the diving Reggie Davis. And then Richie Manigault called for a foul on Cody Lang. On the way up, the Hornets brought the energy to begin the first half. They're doing the same thing early in the second stanza. So Cody Lang to the line. Only played 3.5 minutes in the first half. Lang has had the breakout senior season, the Amherst County product. First free throw here is short. His career scoring average entering this year was 2.9 points per game, averaged only 8.4 minutes and 46 appearances across his first 3 years. This season, 8.3 points and 7 rebounds, but does struggle at the foul line, 55%, and he misses both here. Still a 9-point Lynchburg lead. Richie Manigault on the left wing for W&L. Out front to Curtis Mitchell. Mitchell, handful of dribbles, then gives to Lamondola. Lamondola to the free throw line, back to Mitchell, posting up on Lang. Mitchell feeds the corner to Denon. 7 on the shot clock. Denon working baseline. Fade away over Green is up and good. Not much more Chance Green can do. A difficult shot knocked down by Denon. It's 52-45. Denon now in double digits with 10 points. Green out front for Lynchburg. Loosely guarded by Manigault, gives to Theron Suggs. Suggs against Lamondola, away to Thacker. Thacker down the lane, bounce pass off to Lang, layup good. His first points of the night. 5th assist for Thacker. His stat line already phenomenal. Brueggemann stopped by Davis on the drive, gives it to Manigault. Reverse layup attempt, no good. Surrounded by black Lynchburg jerseys. At the other end, Thacker on the drive, the runner. Well, the way things are going tonight, you expect that to go in. It does not, but he's fouled on the play, and he'll shoot 2. And that's on Curtis Mitchell, and that is number 4. So more trouble for Mitchell and the Generals. He will make an immediate exit here as Thacker goes to the line. 18:07 to play. T.C. Thacker already has 18 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 blocks. Make it 19 points as he buries the first free throw. Curtis Mitchell, the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in this conference, has been a non-factor so far tonight, and you would imagine is confined to the bench for a while with the 4 fouls. Thacker's got 20 as he hits both free throws. 56-45 Hornets. Lamondola down the lane. The floater is up, no good, but a blocking foul. Lang whistled for the infraction, I believe, in the restricted area. That's his 3rd personal. And Mark Lamondola will shoot 2. First one is up and no good. Lamondola just 2 of 5 at the line tonight. The Generals have left some points on the table there. 10 of 17 as a team. Second shot well short. Krogan taps the rebound to the corner. Brueggemann tries to save it along the scores table, but the ball had already gone out of bounds. Back to the Hornets, up by 11 with 18 minutes to go. Ahead comes Green, guarded closely by Lamondola. Stops on the right side and then has his entry pass stolen away by Lamondola. At the other end, Brueggemann steps into a 26-footer, rims out. He hits a lot of those. Rebound to Davis, another steal for Lamondola. Davis gets it back, somehow lands inbounds on the far side of the court, and then at the other end, Chance Green is fouled hard on the way up. Hotly contested sequence there. William Brueggemann has picked up his 2nd foul, and free throws for Green with the clock stopped at the 17:34 mark. Lynchburg up 11, pending the foul shots for Green, who's 4 of 4 at the line tonight. First one this time is up and good. Chance Green is at 75% this year, but he is an 85% career foul shooter, over 90% his first 2 seasons, and over 80% last year. Second one rims out. Curse of the commentator, but 1 of 2 for Green. Lynchburg leads it by a dozen. And Curtis Mitchell again on the bench with 4 personals. Lamondola gets it, Green overplayed. Lamondola will kick to Denon, who's open, and hits the 3. Right wing triple for Denon, his 3rd tray. And the Generals pull within 9. Green, one-man press break. Layup, no at the other end. Lang the offensive rebound. Stick back good as bodies go flying down low. Cody Lang getting involved now that he's back on the floor. 59-48, just over 3 minutes into the second half. Denon another right side 3. That one contested by Thacker and no good. Thacker's got it at the other end, handling the basketball on the open floor, gliding down the lane. Finger roll, no. And the Generals control the rebound. Denon away to Sam Wise. Guarded on the wing by Thacker, who reaches in that time. That's number 2 on TC Thacker. And a stoppage with 16:36 to play. That will bring Jack Lewis back in for Washington and Lee. Israel Lockamy and Noah Bullock return for the Hornets. And Dow Dutton will sprint back in as well. Thacker stayed out there, so did Green. An 11-point lead for Lynchburg, with a spot in Saturday's semifinals up for grabs. Denon, 3-ball off the inbounds, no good. Krogan taps the rebound. It's collected by Brueggemann. Brueggemann inside to Krogan. Dow Dutton reaches in, and that's his 4th personal. And the Hornets will send Jamil Pasha back in the game. They want to give Lang the regular break. So Dutton, again the top front court reserve for Hillary Scott's team, heads out of the game. Into Brueggemann, post up on the inbounds pass from Denon. He's fouled. Wants the layup back. He almost finished that through the contact. The whistle, the first on Jamil Pasha. So 2 free throws for Brueggemann. He is 4 of 7 at the line tonight, but an 82% foul shooter this season. First one up and in. His 18th point, first of the second half. 10-point margin with 16:27 to play. Second shot for Brueggemann, good as well. So 19 for Brueggemann, who's up to 959 points for his Generals career. He's pulled W&L back within 9. Krogan and Denon have checked out. It's now Wise, Lamondola, Lewis, Brueggemann, and DeCibio against Thacker, Green, Pasha, Lockamy, and Bullock. Pasha out front, a lot of contact from Wise, maybe got away with one. Gives it to Bullock, to the high post to Thacker, who's guarded by Brueggemann. Thacker driving in and called for traveling. He wanted the foul, but the whistle goes the other way. Just a little bit out of control that time. Lamondola open left corner 3, that's no good. Sam Wise, an offensive rebound, gives to Brueggemann. Brueggemann dribbles down the lane, spin move, layup, no, but he's fouled and he'll shoot 2. And if that's on Thacker, that's going to be number 3. It is. Both teams with some foul problems tonight. Still 15:53 to go. Curtis Mitchell sitting with 4 for W&L. Dow Dutton has 4 for Lynchburg. Now Thacker and Lang each with 3. First free throw for Brueggemann, good. Another 20-point game for the first team all-conference selection. His 13th of the season, 13 games with 20-plus points. Second free throw, good, 59-52 Lynchburg. TC Thacker stays out there with the 3 personals. The Hornets need at least one of their regular bigs on the floor. Brueggemann is getting a break right now, as Rob DeCibio has returned for Washington and Lee. Jamil Pasha between the circles for Lynchburg. Sends it over to Lockamy. Now Bullock back at midcourt. 11 on the shot clock. Green gets it on the sideline. Green around the Thacker screen. 4 to shoot. Step back over. Krogan is off the glass and good. Chance Green able to use the window to good effect there as he knocks down his third three of the night. Back to a 10-point Lynchburg lead. And we've got a timeout on the floor. 62-52 Hornets with 15:23 to play. We'll come right back to the Salem Civic Center.
Opiates has taken everything and everyone I've ever loved away from me. Everything.
I blew my ankle out and I got prescribed pain pills by my doctor.
If making my detox public is gonna help somebody, I'm all for it. I just wish I would have had a warning.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth. A message from Truth, the Ad Council, and ONDCP.
Jeremy Franklin with you here in Salem tonight. The number 6 seed Lynchburg on top of number 3 seed Washington and Lee. 62-52 with 15:23 to play in the second half of this ODAC quarterfinal matchup. Number 2 Virginia Wesleyan awaits. 8 o'clock on Saturday night. Randolph-Macon and Roanoke in the 6 p.m. semifinal. And Chance Green has been really good shooting the basketball. And he just got really lucky on the last attempt. Shot clock winding down, shooting over one of the Generals' post players in Mark Krogan, and he banked it in. 18 for Green, 20 for Thacker. Now on the other side, Brueggemann with 21, Kevin Denton with 13. Each of those players has hit a trio of three-point baskets. And 114 points on the board with 3/4 of the second half still to play. Sam Wise, foul line extended right side for the Generals. Away to DeCibio on the baseline. DeCibio, one dribble, pops the 12-footer, nothing but net. Confidence with which the young fellow's playing with down the stretch. Yeah, that 16-point game against Roanoke, a career high, but his previous mark was 6. That was a couple of weeks ago. And a 21-point Generals win that they earned without William Brueggemann across town at the Kreger Center. Cody Lang back in, posting up Sam Wise. Left-handed floater, no good. Kevin Denton charges in for the rebound. Generals have it. They trail by 8. Sam Wise out front to Brueggemann. Left side to Denton, guarded closely by Israel Lockamy. Floats it up top to DeCibio. DeCibio away to Wise. Lob underneath for Lamondola. Going one-on-one with Green. Hits the cutting Sam Wise. Layup good. Sam Wise with 9 points tonight at 62-56. Hornets lead cut down to 6. Noah Bullock around the Lang screen. Gives it off to Green. Green against Lamondola. Looking for space. Goes in again. Still Green. Then lost his balance. Went down and throws the ball right to Sam Wise. And then Green, I believe, tripped up Lamondola. When the Generals were trying to run down the floor, Green will pick up the foul. Green frustrated that there wasn't a call against W&L there. And the officials will confer. And this may be a situation where they go back to the monitor and take a look. 3 officials having a chat here. That foul on Chance Green. It's going to be his first personal either way. But maybe a question as to whether this is a flagrant foul. 13:57 to play second half. It's Lynchburg 62, Washington and Lee 56. Officials have not come across to the video monitor, which is on the opposite side of the floor. You can see on the ODAC Sports Network broadcast, talking at the scores table right now. A big decision here if it's a flagrant foul. It's 2 shots and the basketball. The Generals have been playing from behind most of the night. And what is the adjudication here on that foul on Chance Green? Now they are going to come across and take a look on the monitor. In Lynchburg jumping out to the big early lead tonight, up by 14 in the first half. Washington and Lee would come charging back and pull within 3 later in the half. The Hornets stretched the lead back to double figures. It was a 7-point game at the break. Would have been a 10-point game, but there was that review on the last-second three-pointer for Jabil Pasha that was waved off, did not get the shot off at the buzzer. And Lynchburg able to again stretch the gap to double digits early in the second half. Now the Generals have pulled within 6. And we got a video review in progress, taking a look at the foul that Chance Green just committed against Mark Lamondola. Take off the headset and see if we can get an explanation of the call there. So they have called a flagrant 1 foul against Chance Green of the Hornets. So after taking a look, the flagrant was assessed. Both coaches getting the explanation. Mark Lamondola will be at the line for 2 free throws. And he makes the first. And it will still be Generals basketball after the second. That is no good. Lamondola, who again is returning from an injury, doesn't seem to have the legs in those free throws. He is now 3 out of 8 tonight. Shoots about 67% from the line. But the one that he makes cuts the lead down to 5. And it is W&L basketball. We'll resume from the point of interruption when the Generals had possession. And Sam Wise, the drive, the Euro step, the layup good. And it's a 3-point game, and Sam Wise has 11 in his first postseason contest. And then Lamondola steals the inbounds pass. Shot blocked by Davis. Put back for Wise, no good. Bullock comes down with the basketball. And now Lynchburg controls. 62-59. Here's Davis on the attack. His layup no good. Offensive rebound for Lang to kick out to Theron Suggs. Just the 5 points for Suggs tonight. He averages over 15. Suggs out front now, takes it down the lane, gets to the rim, misses the open layup. No help defense ever came, but Suggs could not convert. Washington and Lee has it down by 3. Brueggemann out front, Brueggemann down the lane, forces it up and good. It's a 1-point game. Timeout Hornets. Brueggemann's got 23 now. It's 62-61. Lynchburg trying to hang on. Still 13:01 to play. We'll come right back to Salem for more coverage of the ODAC men's basketball tournament.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me. I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
9-0 scoring run in the works for Washington and Lee. The Generals have cut a 10-point deficit down to 1. 13:01 to play in the second half here in Salem. Mark Lamondola has been at the center of it all. Couple of steals for the sophomore from Pittsburgh. He was the man fouled, that flagrant one that was called against Chance Green. And then the big scoring game from William Brueggemann with 23. Kevin Denon 13, and Sam Wise behind him with 11. Wise known more for his setup play. 5th time he's been in double figures in scoring. The 3rd against an ODAC opponent. Comes into Chance Green, and the ball taken away by Sam Wise. And then Cody Lang blocks Mark Lamondola's 3-point attempt. Lamondola thought he was open, and Lang snuck up on it. Take away by W&L, but the recovery there from Lynchburg. The Hornets have it up by 1. Theron Suggs inside to Lang, posting up, double team, kick to Thacker for 3. That won't go. Rebound tap to Wise. Another chance for the Generals to take their first lead of the night. into Krogan, away to Lamondola, down the lane he goes, layup, good. Washington and Lee in front, 63-62. Another big play made by Lamondola. 12:15 left, second half. Suggs away to Lang. Generals have scored the last 11 points of the contest. Lang gets it on the left wing inside to Thacker. Back to the basket against Krogan. Thacker the post up, the leaner, and he's fouled by Krogan. Free throws coming. The Hornets needed something to happen on the offensive end, and Thacker will deliver with a chance to regain the lead at the foul line, where he is 6 of 6 tonight. First foul on Mark Krogan, and Thacker well short on the free throw. Maybe a little bit of fatigue setting in after Thacker missed the last 2 games of the regular season. All he's done tonight is rack up 20 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 6 blocks. He corrects on the second, knocks it down for point number 21, and we are tied at 63. Dinnan on the left wing for the Generals. Out top to Lamondola. Lamondola into the paint. Still going, trying to cross over Thacker, running layup, no good. Tough shot. Lamondola somehow gets the ball back, feeds Kevin Dinnan, who floats it up and in from 6 feet away. Lamondola is everywhere right now for the Generals, who lead at 65-63, 11 and a half minutes to go. Chance Green out front against Lamondola. This is off to Dow Dunton, who's back in with the 4 fouls. Away to Davis down the lane. His runner rims out off the back iron, no good. We got a held ball on the rebound. Davis and Dinnan, bodies go tumbling. It's Lynchburg possession on the arrow. Getting a little emotional out there on both sides. Lamondola will check out. Not a bad move by Chris McHugh. Mark needs a rest anyway. He has been doing yeoman's work here in the second half. Richie Manigault has come back in. 65-63 Washington and Lee with 11:18 to go. They spotted the ODAC semifinals up for grabs, and someone is going to earn that berth. Baseline inbounds play for Theron Suggs, the shot clock at 20. Into Chance Green, right corner 3, no, but he's fouled. The late closeout on the inbounds pass. The Hornets got burned for that a couple of times in the first half, with William Brueggemann going to the line on a 3-point shot. Now I think the officials are discussing whether Green was behind the line. And is this another situation? Whether we'll take a look at the monitor, it is. So they're going to take another peek at whether or not this is a 3-shot foul or a 2-shot foul. And so we'll have another stoppage with 11:15 to go. As tight as this game has been, every little detail matters. And we've already seen 2 calls made based on what they saw in the video review. That 3-pointer that was waved off for Jamil Pasha at the end of the first half, and then Chance Green was assessed a flagrant 1 foul after the officials went to the monitor. 11:15 to play in this second half. It's Washington and Lee 65, Lynchburg 63. This one didn't take very long. Still waiting for a signal from the officials. And Green was indeed behind the line, and so he'll have 3 free throws coming up. And if he hits them all, Lynchburg will be back in front. 18 tonight for Chance Green, who's closing in on the career top 20 in scoring at Lynchburg. 7 points away from joining that group. First free throw is up and in. He's now 6 out of 7 at the line. His career high is 28 points. That came against Ferrum in December. Also had a 26-point game against Hampton-Sydney. He's up to 21 now. Make it 20. A chance for 21 as he just tied the score at 65. third free throw. Got that as well. So a lead change. It's Lynchburg 66, WDL 65. After the free throws for the senior from Creedmoor, North Carolina. Kevin Denon top of the key for the Generals, away to DeCibio. DeCibio against Dutton, who's got the 4 fouls. Off to Brueggemann. Brueggemann, spin move against Thacker. Off balance floater, no good, and Thacker snatches down his 8th rebound of the game. Ahead to Theron Suggs, pulls up for the 12-footer, that's good. His first points of the second half, and the Hornets are up by 3. 10:39 to play. Sam Wise out front to DeCibio, right side to Denon, quickly to the baseline to Manigault. Manigault out to Brueggemann. DeCibio, 15 to shoot. He'll give to Sam Wise. Wise spins right by Dutton, who's got to let him go. Wise with another bucket. Give him 13 for the night, and it's a 1-point game. 68-67 Lynchburg. Curtis Mitchell at the scorer's table now. He's been sitting since the opening minutes of the half with 4 fouls. Inside it comes to Thacker, one-on-one with Brueggemann. Now DeCibio over to help, and Thacker, we're going to wave off the layup as he took the shot after the contact, I believe. Let's see. No, they're going to go the other way now and say that Thacker's shot will count. And William Brueggemann will be charged with his 3rd foul. 3-point play chance for Thacker, who's up to 23 points now. 7th 20-point game of the season for Thacker, who had been productive as an underclassman. Free throw no good this time, but he had never had a 20-point game before this year. Previous career high was 18. 70-67 Hornets. Curtis Mitchell gets it down low against Dutton. Mitchell the post up, the layup, no. Rebound tapped to the corner and hustled down by Thacker. 9:41 to play second half. Hornets in possession, up 3. Chance Green down the lane, floats it up, in and out over Mitchell. Dutton collects the carom, and the shot clock resets to 20. Skip to the corner for Green. Green driving baseline, then lost control. Lost the basketball, ends up inadvertently taking out William Brueggemann, sliding on the baseline, but it is a Lynchburg turnover, and it will be Washington and Lee basketball with 9:27 to play in a 3-point game. 30-second timeout taken by Chris McHugh. We will stay here. Coming down to the wire here in the nightcap of the ODAC men's basketball quarterfinals. 6th seeded Lynchburg on top of the number 3 seed Washington and Lee, 70-67. Again, 9 minutes and 27 seconds remaining. T.C. Thacker and Chance Green with 23 and 21 points respectively. Thacker also has 9 rebounds, 6 blocks, and 5 assists. On the General side, William Brueggemann with 23 points. Kevin Denon with 15, Samwise 13. Curtis Mitchell has not been a factor tonight. He's only played 9 minutes due to the foul trouble. He is out there now with Kevin Denon, Mark Lamondola, Sam Wise, and William Brueggemann. Lynchburg will counter with Israel Lockamy, T.C. Thacker, Cody Lang, Reggie Davis, and Chance Green. Generals basketball coming out of the Washington and Lee timeout. Each team has 2 of those remaining. Lamondola down the lane. Lamondola the strong finish. As he really has played well in this second half. Dola with 9 points now, and the Generals are back within 1. Ahead comes T.C. Thacker. Hands off to Green. Green around a Thacker screen. Stops on the wing. Gets it around to Lang. Now Davis back to Green. Up top, Lockamy, wide open 3 is good. Israel Lockamy with his second trade tonight. And it's 73-69 Hornets, 8:47 to go. Wise out top to Mitchell, left side to Denon. Denon, top of the key. Brueggemann got an opening around a Mitchell screen, but his three-pointer will not go. And an uncontested rebound for Lang. Hornets up 4. Lockamy away to Thacker. He will pop the 12-footer. That's good. It's 75-69, 25 tonight for the first team all-conference performer. Brueggemann between the circles. Gives to Denon. He releases the 3 ball. No good left side. Another rebound for Lang. Outlet to Thacker. Thacker in the paint at the other end, lost control of the ball, batted around, picked up by Sam Wise. 3-on-2 here. Denon's trailing. Sam Wise never saw him, takes it himself. Layup, no, and Mitchell is fouled on the follow-up attempt. At the 7:59 mark, we'll see 2 free throws for Curtis Mitchell. That foul against Reggie Davis, his second personal, 7th team foul. The Generals sitting on 6, so both teams will be in the bonus for the last 8 minutes here. Curtis Mitchell's first free throw, no good. That has been an area where he has struggled throughout his career, just 47% at the free throw line this season. Second one is up, missed that as well. Mitchell is 1 for his last 11 at the foul line. It remains a 6-point game in favor of Lynchburg. Green has it at midcourt. Dribbles between the circles, bounce pass ahead to Lang, now off to Lockamy. Back to Green, off to Davis, 10 to shoot, skip to Lockamy, open right corner 3, no good. Generals called a break as Lockamy just about nailed his 3rd tray of the night. At the other end, Denon, right corner Sam Wise. Wise on the attack, that's a player control foul. All the way, Cody Lang was parked outside the restricted area. And he was just waiting for Wise to make that rookie mistake, and he did. Second personal on Wise. And we'll get some changes here for both teams with 7:27 remaining, and the Hornets in front, 75-69. Lewis, Manigault, Krogan, Mitchell, and Sam Wise for the Generals, Dunton, Bullock, Suggs, Lang, and Lockamy for Lynchburg. And it comes to Noah Bullock. Guarded by Manigault as he crosses the timeline. Mismatched shoes for Noah Bullock, one orange and one black. Curious as to what the story is behind that. Here's Suggs, pulls up right wing, in and out on the 15-footer. Rebound tapped to Mitchell, who runs the floor here for the Generals. Hits the trailing Lewis, who fires up the 3, and that is good. First points of the night for Jack Lewis. Assist for Curtis Mitchell, who averages about 3 of those per game. That cuts the Lynchburg lead in half, 75-72, inside of 7 minutes to go. Dunton away to Theron Suggs, going down low for Lang, who lost it, got it back. Manigault reaching in, nearly got a steal instead. Lang spins off him, attacks Mitchell, who's got the 4 fouls. Layup is short, no whistle. Manigault has it, away to Lewis. Lewis dribbles in for the 12-footer, that's good. 5 straight points for Jack Lewis. W&L within 1. 6:26 to play here in the second half, and a timeout called by Hillary Scott. We are in for a thrilling finish at the Salem Civic Center. 6 minutes and 24 seconds left in the second half. It's Lynchburg 75 and Washington and Lee 74. Stay with us for more coverage of the ODAC men's basketball quarterfinals.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
1-point ball game with 6:24 to go. Game reset for you. 17 fouls each way, so both teams currently in the single bonus. The possession arrow favors Washington and Lee. Timeouts remaining, 2 for the Generals, 1 for Lynchburg after Hillary Scott just called time. And then the foul trouble for the two teams. Curtis Mitchell has 4, William Brueggemann 3 for Washington and Lee. Dow Dunton has 4 for Lynchburg. T.C. Thacker and Cody Lang each with 3 personals. Thacker's got 25 points and is a rebound away from a double-double. Chance Green with 21. William Brueggemann has 23. Kevin Denon 15. Sam Wise 13 for Washington and Lee. It's Lynchburg basketball coming out of the timeout. And the Hornets put the ball in the hands of their rookie point guard, Noah Bullock. Away to Lang, still outside the three-point arc. Back to Bullock. Dribbles left baseline, shot clock at 10. Away to TC Thacker. Thacker down the paint, he lost the handle, and it's out of bounds back to Washington and Lee. A couple of times tonight that it has looked like Thacker is maybe trying to do just a little bit too much. Lost control, and the Generals have it. They can regain the lead on this possession. Curtis Mitchell right elbow, back to Lamondola. Lamondola around the Mitchell screen. Lamondola lost the handle. Suggs knocked it away, and Bullock picked it up. Steal for Lynchburg. Thacker at the other one, away to Bullock, who passes up the open three. Works it inside to Thacker. Back around it comes to Lockamy, driving baseline, and he's fouled on the layup attempt. Free throws coming for the Hornets with 5:38 to go, and that's number 4 on William Brueggemann. Israel Lockamy at the free throw line. Junior out of Wake Forest, North Carolina. Only played in 7 games across his first 2 seasons. He ended up making the first 2 starts of his career in the last 2 games of the regular season. 3 games in double figures this year. He knocks down the first free throw. That's his 7th point tonight. Looking to make this a 3-point lead with 5:38 to go. Second shot for Lockamy, no good. It's 76-74. Ahead comes Lamondola, stops right wing and works it inside to Mitchell. Posting up on Thacker. Mitchell leans into Thacker, layup no. Battle for the rebound. Mitchell gets it. Kick back to the wing, but it's a turnover. He couldn't link up with Denon, and it goes out of bounds back to the Hornets. The 9th turnover of the game for Washington and Lee. Lynchburg ball, 5:23 left. Hornets up 2. Lockamy is out, Reggie Davis back in. And Chance Green handling the basketball. Up top he goes to Lang. Lang, little screen and roll action with Suggs. Lang misses badly from the low blocks. And Washington and Lee ends up with the ball. Jack Lewis has it. He scored the last 5 points for the Generals. Here's Brueggemann on the drive. Layup attempt, no. Another contested shot. Green rebounds, gets tied up by Lewis. And Washington and Lee will get it back on the alternating possession. Green is adamant that he was fouled there. And he's had a couple of frustrating calls go against him tonight. But he's also poured in 21 points. 4:52 left in a 2-point game. WDL possession, full 30 seconds on the shot clock because of the change of possession. Denon right corner 3 is good. He inbounded to Mitchell, snuck into the corner, buries the 3, and the Generals lead by 1. Denon now with 18. He's made 4 triples tonight, 77-76. Chance Green lost his footing out front. Denon will tie him up again. This time it belongs to Lynchburg on the held ball. And Jack Lewis about to come right back in the ball game in place of William Brueggemann. Brueggemann and Mitchell each with 4 fouls. Mitchell's on the floor right now. Suggs inbounding from the sideline to Thacker at midcourt. Thacker driving in on Mitchell, leans in, layup, no. Rebound tap from Lamondola out to Denon. Generals have it in a 1-point lead, 4:19 left in this ODAC quarterfinal. Winner plays Virginia Wesleyan at 8 o'clock Saturday night in the second Minsoup semi. Sam Wise on the left wing around the Mitchell screen. Wise still going, away to Lamondola, 9 to shoot. Lamondola drives the lane, kick to Denon, right side 3 on its way, and good. Nothing but net for Kevin Denon, and Washington and Lee has its biggest lead tonight, a 4-point margin at 80-76. 21 from Kevin Denon here in Salem. Green between the circles, away to Davis. Denon going for the steal, didn't get it. Davis, a quick exchange with Thacker. Around the horn it comes to Green. Deep left side 3, and that is good. The answer from Chance Green, and it's a 1-point game. Green now with 24. That's his 4-3, and a timeout taken by Chris McHugh. What a ball game we've seen so far tonight here in Salem, and we've still got 3 minutes and 25 seconds of excitement in store. It's Washington and Lee 80 and Lynchburg 79. We'll take a short break and come right back to the Salem Civic Center.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear, because for 75 years, he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like, if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So be careful out there. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
A 1-point margin here in the ODAC quarterfinals with 3:25 to go in this second half. It's Washington and Lee 80, Lynchburg 79. Jeremy Franklin with you in Salem. Our coverage tonight on WLUR Lexington, 91.5 FM, and WLUR All Access, powered by First Team Broadcasting Video on the ODAC Sports Network. Could not have asked for anything more between the Generals and the Hornets. The three-point shots have been falling. We've had 19 of those tonight. Lynchburg 10 of 20, WNL 9 of 25. Kevin Denon has hit 5 for the Generals. Chance Green just knocked down his 4th for Lynchburg. And it will be Washington and Lee basketball, each team with 1 timeout remaining. Brueggemann, Mitchell, Denon, Samwise, and Lamondola against Suggs, Davis, Thacker, Lang, and Green. Here's Sam Wise. Wise on the attack, gets to the low blocks, muscles it up against Suggs, no good. Great defense by Theron Suggs, who comes down with the rebound, and now Lynchburg has an opportunity to grab the lead back. Green out front, lob ahead to Thacker, left elbow. Thacker away to Green. Mitchell's on him on the switch. And Chance Green going down the lane, feeds to Davis. Davis, step back, left side three, way off. Rebound secured by Mitchell. Not the shot the Hornets wanted. Generals have it up 1, 2:47 to go. Curtis Mitchell, top of the key, right side. Lamondola, ball knocked away by Davis. Last touch by Lamondola, and it goes back to Lynchburg. Generals wanted the whistle that time, did not get it. And it's Hornet basketball with 2:43 to go. Lewis in for Brueggemann. Chris McHugh doing the offensive-defensive substitutions, trying to manage foul trouble. Needless to say, the Generals need William Brueggemann on the floor on the offensive end. He's going right back to the scores table to check in at the next dead ball. Thacker in the high post for the Hornets, away to Green. 2.5 to go. WNL up 1. Here's Cody Lang posting up on Lamondola. Double team comes. Lang shoots over it, misses. That went halfway down, wouldn't stick. Rebounded by Lamondola. At the other end, Lamondola to the foul line. Still has his dribble against Thacker. And now we'll hand off to Denon. And we have an illegal screen called on the Generals on Mark Lamondola. So that'll turn it over back to the Hornets. 2:08 to play. Our score remains Washington and Lee 80, Lynchburg 79. Another look for the Hornets, trying to get their noses back in front. They've led for over 33 minutes tonight. Down a point at the moment. Here's Lang, the post up. This time it rolls in off the back iron over Lamondola. 81-80 Lynchburg. Minute 44 to play, second half. Sam Wise has it out front. Picks up his dribble, kicks it over to Mitchell. Mitchell drives to the foul line and then drops it off for Lamondola and sets the screen. Lamondola will pull up for three. That's no good. And the rebound to Lang. Hornets up 81-80 with the basketball, 1:23 to play. Chance Green dribbling out near midcourt. Long bounce pass ahead to Thacker, flips it back to Green. Green away to Theron Suggs. Inside it comes to Lang, over Brueggemann. That one no good. Thacker the offensive rebound, and he's fouled. And that might be the end of the night for Curtis Mitchell. Generals will catch a break here. It's not Mitchell, it's Sam Wise who picks up the personal. That's his third. And T.C. Thacker to the line, double bonus time. 2 shots for Thacker with 1:04 to go and his team up by 1. First free throw good for Thacker. His 26th point. He's now 8 of 10 at the foul line. Double-double and then some for Thacker. 26 points, 10 rebounds, 6 blocks, 5 assists. Second free throw, no good. It's a 2-point game. Generals have it. 1 minute to go in regulation. William Brueggemann stops left wing ball, knocked away by Thacker. Brueggemann regains it. Now Brueggemann off the dribble, hands off to Denon. Denon back to Brueggemann on the right wing. Down low to Mitchell. 11 to shoot, 45 on the game clock. Mitchell spins around Lang, who blocks his shot from behind. It'll be Washington and Lee basketball underneath. Game clock at 41.5, shot clock at 8. Lynchburg 82, Washington and Lee 80. Brueggemann will be the inbounder. Generals have some fine inbounds plays up their sleeve. We saw the 3-ball from Kevin Denon off the inbounds earlier. Here's Brueggemann, gets it 15-footer left wing, no good. Rebound battled for, Sam Wise picks it up, and Brueggemann wide open left side 3, well short. Thacker will hustle it down, 28.4 to go. Ahead to Theron Suggs, who comes crashing into press row. He's fouled by Sam Wise. Free throws for the Hornets, who lead it by 2 with 26.3 seconds remaining. Generals got a couple of looks there for Brueggemann, the long 2, and then a wide open 3. After a contested offensive rebound, neither falls, and Theron Suggs will be shooting 2 for Lynchburg, trying to make this a 2-possession game. Suggs is at the line for the first time tonight. First free throw on its way and good. He is a terrific foul shooter, 87% on the season, second in the conference. 83-80 pending the second shot for Suggs. That is up, and that is good. So it's 84-80 Hornets. Washington and Lee need some points in a hurry. Don't necessarily have to have a 3. And about 0.2 of a second ticked off the game clock there. And some miscommunication. The officials were trying to, I think, add a little bit of time back to the game clock. And they ended up putting 20 on the shot clock, which should be off now. So no change in the end to either clock. 26.3 to go. Generals down 4. Ahead comes Lamondola. Lamondola driving in. Layup, no, but he's fouled. And free throws for the Generals with 20.2 seconds left. Lamondola has had a tough night at the foul line tonight. Just 3 of 8. He's got 9 points and 6 assists. But the Generals really need both of these. The first one is up and rolls in. Normally a solid foul shooter, 67% on the season. Generals continue to play offense, defense with the subs. Mitchell and Brueggemann out. Krogan and Lewis back in. 84-81 with his second shot on its way. And that is no good. It rattles out. Tap on the rebound, though, by the Generals. Sam Wise ends up with a basketball, and Chris McHugh will call his final timeout. So Lamondola misses the second free throw, but Washington and Lee gets an offensive rebound, and the Generals will have it down by 3 with 18.4 seconds to go. We will stay right here at the Salem Civic Center. You're listening to the ODAC basketball tournament on WLUR and WLUR All Access, our video coverage tonight on the ODAC Sports Network. This has been a terrific ball game. Lynchburg up big early, had a double-digit lead in the second half. The Generals have been in front on a handful of occasions. We've had 4 lead changes all in the second period. And it's currently Lynchburg 84, Washington and Lee 81. The Generals will have the basketball with 18.4 seconds to go. ODAC semifinal spot on the line opposite the number 2 seed Virginia Wesleyan. The Hornets trying to get back to the semifinal round for the first time since they won the title 4 years ago. The Generals looking for a 4th straight semifinal appearance. They have not been to the championship game since the current head coach Chris McHugh was a senior back in 2009. See who the Generals send out. You would expect all the shooters to be out there. Lamondola, Denon, Lewis, and Brueggemann, along with Curtis Mitchell. And Lynchburg will send out Green, Thacker, Lockamy, Suggs, and Lang. Sideline inbounds play, 18.4 seconds left. Washington in lead, down by 3. Brueggemann will be the inbounder right in front of us. Into Lamondola, guarded closely by Lockamy. Lamondola around a Mitchell screen. Lamondola driving in. The runner is up. No good. Mitchell got a tap on the rebound. Grabbed by Brueggemann. 7 seconds left inside to Mitchell, who slams it with 5.8 to go to make it a 1-point game. The Generals will look for a steal or then an immediate foul. And both teams will have a chance to regroup as Hillary Scott has called his final timeout. Washington and Lee, an extended possession there, multiple offensive rebounds, and finally get some points. Not the 3 to tie it, but they do get the dunk from Curtis Mitchell, and it's 84-83, 5.8 seconds remaining in regulation. Again, Washington and Lee, if the Generals cannot get the ball immediately, cannot steal it away, they'll send Lynchburg to the foul line, where the Hornets are 20 of 28 so far tonight. Washington and Lee has also shot 28 free throws and hit 16 of them. And you would imagine that the offensive-defensive substitutions no longer in effect for the Generals. They've got to have Brueggemann and Mitchell on the floor. Sam Wise has also picked up 4 fouls. He will not be coming back out from the looks of the Washington and Lee huddle. But no real time for a dead ball and a chance that you know you're going to get Brueggemann back on the floor if you're Chris McHugh. 50 points combined between T.C. Thacker and Chance Green. Thacker's got 26, Green 24. William Brueggemann with 23, Kevin Denon 21 for Washington and Lee. A 1-point margin, down to 5.8 seconds left. Brueggemann, Mitchell, Lamondola, Lewis, and Denon will defend Green, Thacker, Lockamy, Bullock, and Suggs. So no Cody Lang, now an extra ball handler on the floor for Hillary Scott's team. Lockamy will be the inbounder, the 6'8" frame of Curtis Mitchell guarding him as he runs the baseline. Lockamy looking in for Suggs. It's knocked out of bounds by Kevin Denon. Denon jumping up and down in frustration. He thinks he deflected that off of Suggs. He's the only one who thinks so. 4.9 to go. Lockamy, he'll throw it down the length of the floor. It's gathered by Brueggemann. He's got it with 3 to go. William Brueggemann, pull up, top of the key at the buzzer is short, and Lynchburg hangs on. The Hornets took a risk. They threw it down the floor, turned it over, and William Brueggemann had his shot to win it at the buzzer. A pull-up three-pointer that's off the front iron, no good. And Lynchburg advances to the ODAC semifinals as the Hornets win it 84-83. What a ball game, what a finish here at the Salem Civic Center. And Lynchburg will take on Virginia Wesleyan in the semifinals on Saturday night after Randolph-Macon meets Roanoke. T.C. Thacker, 26 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, and 6 blocks. Chance Green added 24 points. Theron Suggs had 9. Reggie Davis, 8 for Lynchburg on the Washington and Lee side. William Brueggemann with 23. Kevin Denon, 21. Sam Wise had 13. And Mark Lamondola, 10 points and 6 assists tonight. We will say so long on the ODAC Sports Network. You can watch the remainder of the tournament at ODACSN.com, starting with the women's semifinals on Saturday afternoon. We'll take a break on WLUR and come back with some final thoughts on the general season. I'm Jeremy Franklin, live from the Salem Civic Center. Again, our final score in the ODAC Men's Hoops quarterfinals tonight, Lynchburg 84 and Washington and Lee 83.
911, what is your emergency? My kid shot himself. All right, where's the wound, sir?
911, what's your emergency?
Please help. My son shot his brother. 911, what is your emergency? Okay. 911, please state your emergency.
Every day, 8 kids and teens are unintentionally killed or injured by loaded and unlocked guns.
It wasn't locked.
Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and End Family Fire.
I'm probably okay to have one more drink before I drive home. I'm probably okay. I open the window to stay alert. Probably okay. I just popped some gum in my mouth.
Step out of the car, please.
I probably made a mistake.
Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
One instant classic in the ODAC quarterfinals tonight. Washington and Lee, the heartbreaking loss to wrap up one of the best seasons in recent memory for the Generals. A very slim chance that WNL could get an at-large bid to the Division III tournament. The Generals were in the regional rankings. They fell out after Guilford beat Randolph-Macon. The Quakers, with that strength of schedule, able to leapfrog Washington and Lee. Guilford lost earlier today. But hard to imagine with the Generals going out in the round of 8 in the ODAC tournament that they would sneak in as a Pool C. So in all likelihood done at 20-6. Lynchburg improves to 15-11 and moves on to take on Virginia Wesleyan tomorrow night in the ODAC semifinals. Our coverage of the ODAC basketball tournament and Generals hoops all season long on WLUR and WLUR All Access has been brought to you in part by the Washington and Lee University Store. Celebrate your favorite Generals team with a sports tee, decal, or hat. If you can think of it, we probably have it. The store is open 7 days a week. It is owned and operated by WNL. All proceeds go back to the Washington and Lee community, helping to fund athletic, alumni, and student programs. Order online anytime at store.wlu.edu, and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for exclusive online promotions. Go Generals! Well, Lynchburg led for 34 minutes and 58 seconds tonight. Washington and Lee battled back so many times, and that last second shot for William Brueggemann after the Generals stole that long inbounds pass just off the front of the iron, no good. Otherwise, WNL is celebrating right now, and Lynchburg's season is over. T.C. Thacker, who again had to miss the final 2 regular season games, absolutely brilliant tonight. 26 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, and 6 blocks to lead the way for the Hornets, and Chance Green right behind him with 24 points. WNL contained Lynchburg's leading scorer, Theron Suggs, held him to 9 points on 3 of 10 shooting. Reggie Davis had 8 points, Israel Lockamy 7, Cody Lang 6.7 rebounds and 3 assists, limited to 20 minutes due to some foul trouble. William Brueggemann caps off a great junior season with a 23-point effort tonight, 6 of 18 from the field. He had to work for it. 3 of 10 from 3, 8 of 11 at the line. He had 6 rebounds and a couple of assists in 34 minutes as well. He will head into his senior season very close to the 1,000-point mark, 963 to be exact, chasing the career 3-point record if he comes anywhere close to the 70 that he hit this season. He will eclipse the mark, which is held by Mike Holton of the class of 91 with 207. Kevin Denon wraps up a fine career, speaking of three-point shooters, with a 5 of 11 performance from downtown. He had 21 points. Finished his career in 4th place all-time with 167 threes. He's going to be passed in all likelihood by Brueggemann early in the 2020-2021 campaign. Sam Wise, a fine game to wrap up his rookie year, 13 points and 8 rebounds. Mark Lamondola had 10 points and 6 assists. Jack Lewis with 5 points tonight. Rob DeCibio for Curtis Mitchell, limited to 4 points in 19 minutes. He did have 9 rebounds and a couple of assists. Foul trouble hampered his night, and the other 3 for the Generals scored by Richie Manigault. It's been a tremendous season for Washington and Lee. Again, the first time the Generals have won 20 games since 1988-89. Chris McHugh, 56 wins, only 24 defeats in his first 3 seasons at his alma mater. They will lose the great three-point shooter Kevin Denon, and then Mark Krogan, the other senior who was so good on the boards, efficient on the offensive end, and a great leader for this team. Those guys finished their careers with 69 victories. That is the most for a graduating class at Washington and Lee since way back in 1981. And even with Denon and Krogan no longer wearing the blue and white next year, you get another season out of William Brueggemann, another year out of the 2-time ODAC Defensive Player of the Year in Curtis Mitchell. We saw a lot of great stuff from Mark Lamondola. and the fellow sophomores this season, and then that very talented rookie class. Richie Manigault, Sam Wise, Jack Lewis, Rob DeCibio, Shek Torre was a big part of the Generals' game plan early in the season. They have a year of experience under their belts, and this program clearly on the way up for Washington and Lee. They will expect big things from Generals men's basketball in the very near future. It's been a great pleasure covering this team all season long, and a heart-breaking finish to the 2019-20 season for Washington and Lee here at the Salem Civic Center. That's going to do it for our coverage of Generals basketball on WLUR and WLUR All Access, powered by First Team Broadcasting. I'm Jeremy Franklin saying so long from Salem. Our final tally in the ODAC men's basketball quarterfinals tonight: Lynchburg 84 and Washington and Lee 83.